to know from you, your journey of becoming a parenting expert. How did that shape, and how did you get to where you are today? Tell us a little bit about that, please.
Yeah, Jatin, my journey started right from my childhood. So, and that is one phase which I have revisited a lot since my older daughter was born 13 years back. So, right from my connect with my parents and how was I as a child, how were my siblings, there's a lot of introspection, a lot of reflection that had gone since then. And then my younger daughter also joined in. So, being a parent has helped me a lot to contribute much more than all the theory part and all. And of course, then my experience of having worked in a daycare setup and preschool and a school setup. So all the connects, Jatin, that I've had with each single parent, unique family dynamics, unique connects, has shaped me where I stand today. And I cherish each one of the connects. And I aspire to keep growing and contributing in this field.
It's beautiful to know, and it is amazing to have met you and shared your energy. It's just so beautiful experience. And now, to move on to the questions that we did the question poll around yesterday. The first question that we have for you, Kiran, is from one of our parents, and she wants to know how to develop focus in a child. How can parenting contribute in developing focus in a child?
Okay, Jatin, one thing we got to understand as far as the focus goes is young children are born with focusing in the activities that they truly enjoy. So it could be as young as a 6-month-old child who is playing with the fingers or is exploring a toy right from all the senses, mouthing it, handing it, try to listen to it. So it starts right from there. And then, of course, a few tips if we have to share would be, do not interrupt the moments when the child is concentrating and is into an activity. Do not interrupt when a child is trying to do a problem solving. As a parent, sometimes we get anxious, that, okay, let me help my child. So let the child go through the process of getting frustrated, not being able to do the things, figure out how to do the things, and then support that. So that will help the child to build more focus. That is the frustration tolerance that the child is able to handle and is able to increase, will increase, in turn increase the focus of the child, Jatin.
Right.
It's a generic thing because we are not focusing on any age group. So it's a generic thing that I would say.
Right. Oh, so while it's very interesting, I also want to know something else also. So for example, we had one of the questions from another parent, and she was like, I have a 2-year-old toddler, and I would really need like to have some help in terms of where to start from in terms of parenting, in terms of, so like for me, and I'm not a parent, right? So for me to understand that question, it's a little bit difficult because I'm like, once you become a parent, doesn't the journey start from there? And the question is very different. The question is where, a mother is saying, I have a 2-year-old toddler and I already have that. And now I want to know how to start my parenting journey, with the kid, and I need help around that. So please throw some light on that, Kiran.
Okay. This is very well said, Jatin. Sometimes we just take it for granted that because biologically we have become a parent, there's a lot of pressure on the parents to start thinking that, okay, I should be feeling certain way towards my child, or I should be thinking about a perfect way to what is best for my child. I should be doing that journey, and there's a lot of pressure around that. For a 2-year-old child, Jatin, I would suggest that let's keep the pressure a little off. Every family is unique and every child is unique. Important is instead of focusing too much on the structured activity as at this age group, join the child, observe what the child is doing, join the child in what the child is doing and introduce concepts in there. So that way any kind of learning does not become a set activity. It becomes part and parcel of life and the child looks forward to the learning. So I would suggest join the child in whatever activity the child is doing. Make it play, make it fun.
So in terms of that, I would like to know from you, like communication is very important. During a podcast also, we came through that point that communication is very important. And, we're mobilizing kids to communicate better, communicate right, communicate on point, with the platform. So what do you think is the role and the importance of such platforms in the kids during a younger age, during their, growth years, like below 13 age. So what do you think about that?
Okay. Jatin, the medium can be anything. I strongly believe we cannot practice the same thing what we were practicing since we were children.
Right.
Right? The world has changed. The avenues of information and learning has changed, and we must welcome it. We can't be so stringent about that. Okay, we are talking about devices here, but what you do with these programs, right? How do you connect with the child through this program? The children can actually gain a lot through these programs. When they record their voices, when they see it, it's like Talking Tom. You must see how popular Talking Tom is for children. So when they, and even for shy children, it has been shown that when they record it, maybe they at that point of time are not ready to go directly to the stage and start speaking, but these programs help them towards their own journey to gain confidence. So I'm all for it, Jatin.
Okay, and then finally, not to keep you for too long, and coming to the last question, till then, if any one of you has any parenting question out there, you can drop it in the chat right away. So, Kiran, the final question to you is, what's your message, the parenting message or a parenting style, that you would like to suggest to the parents out there? So, what is that message that you'd like to give to the parents who are viewing us right now and will view us later?
Yeah. At this point of time, keeping the lockdown and growing voices that we may have a part 2 lockdown here, Jatin, and there are a lot of kids who are right now going to go in the second year of their online education. So I would just say, suggest to the parents, take it a little easy. It's not the basic motivation for learning, which is inherently, which was built socially and culturally through an education system, isn't there right now. So for us to think that the child has to be as motivated as the child was in the traditional setup, it's not going to happen, because education is not happening the way online education should be happening. So let's not put too much of pressure on it. Take it a little easy. Bring your expectation down a bit. Everybody, all the stakeholders are working on towards the same. Don't worry, your child will cope up.
Okay, so we have a question, and I think we will close after that. So I think, Kiran, this one's for you. What can we suggest parents who somewhat putting pressure on their children to speak English?
Okay. There can be a lot of pressure, especially families who have adopted a vernacular medium of talk. We're going to understand that English is just like any other language. Yeah. But yes, of course, there's a certain social posturing, and because our academics is geared, 4 subjects out of 5 subjects are geared towards English language. Yeah. So of course, in today's time, global citizen, it does help a lot. However, just a tip here, inculcating reading in that language will help the child a lot more than focusing first on start speaking. So you read a lot of stories to your young child. The child is bound to, when the child hears the same word in 10 different contexts, the child is bound to get the essence of it. Don't focus on did you learn it or write the writing 10 times. Just focus on reading part.
Yeah. Right. And we have another question from Kanupriya, who's one of our experts who coaches and mentors kids at PlanetSpark. So her question is, how to make Sid a fussy child for studies? So I can't even think to answer that, because I was that fussy child and I would never want to sit and study. So Kiran, how about you tell us that how should somebody make Sid a fussy child for studies?
See Jatin, how beautifully when some question related to a child comes, we revisit our childhood. We always connect it to ourselves,
It's just amazing. It's just so beautiful. I love the nostalgic vibe of it.
So I would combine this question, Jatin, with the same one which one of the parents a while back asked, that is it good thing whether child is self-driven, something on that lines, self-driven in the studies. So it is always a good idea to go at the speed of the child, accept what is the level of the child at this point of time, and give targets, but don't do micromanagement. Nobody, including a child, likes to be under evaluative or judgmental kind of environment. Let the schools do that. At home, you can take advantage of having a one-to-one setup. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. On that note, thank you so much, Kiran, for joining us, and all you wonderful people who